All right, everybody, welcome back to the Quarantine Kitchen. This is At Home with Tonya and James. You've made it to the Quarantine Kitchen. This is season 2, episode 5. Say hi, Tonya.
Hi, it's been a while.
It has been a while, but tell everybody why we haven't been cooking though.
I don't know. Why don't you enlighten me? Because I did do a video that you decided not to use.
You claim I lost it.
And you've been busy with your Hermlinville stuff. And so I think our channel has taken a back seat. You've been on the radio and you've been pretty busy. So
no, that's BS.
No, I would say that that's really the case.
I will admit that I lost one of our videos.
Yeah.
It went into the cloud, I thought, and it never came back. But it's been brutally hot and humid here in Germany, and really the desire to cook has really not been...
I've been cooking. Yes, I have. I absolutely have.
So you're totally throwing me under the bus.
I know. Well, sorry.
Well, whatever. Okay. Well,
I have been cooking, but we haven't been filming.
All right. So here we are, and we decided to film today because Tonya's making a fantastic Italian feast today. We've got some special guests, Heike and Michael, coming over for dinner tonight. They're coming over to help Tonya celebrate her birthday, which is actually tomorrow.
Right. So I'm making my birthday dinner.
And Tonya, do you want to share with our followers, our viewers, how old you're going to be?
No, nobody needs to know that.
Okay. Well,
that's irrelevant to this video.
I mean, for 52, you're gorgeous.
Shut up. I am not 52. Don't even try it.
No. You could be like 37, 36.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, you're gorgeous.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
So shall we get started?
What are we making?
So today for my menu, I'm going to make meatballs, Italian style meatballs, and some zucchini boats. I'm gonna scoop out the zucchini pulp and fill it with cheese and spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce and some cheese, and we'll bake them in the oven. And we're gonna have a nice big salad and some garlic bread.
Wow, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, a low carb.
Yeah, really low carb.
Italian.
We're having an Italian feast, but without pasta.
Right.
Yeah, it's better for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pan over here to the ingredients. The first thing you're making for us is the meatballs.
I'm gonna do the meatballs right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna pan over here. Tell us what do we got?
Ground beef, and this is beef.
Is that not that 50-50 meat that we get in Germany? Okay,
yeah,
so
beef,
so ground beef.
We've got 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
Some pepper. Some basil. Oregano.
Yep.
Some breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Some salt and pepper, obviously. Some chopped garlic.
Yep.
And a little bit of the crushed red pepper.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in also some Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to use the olive oil just to cook the meat.
I'm going to, coat the meatballs on the tray before I put them in the oven.
So now, remind our viewers, your family is Italian, part Italian. Is this a family recipe of meatballs or something you just have come up on?
This is actually a recipe that I found on following somebody on Instagram.
Okay.
And her name is the Pasta Queen on Instagram.
Okay.
And she has lots of very delicious Italian recipes. I've made her sauce, which I'm going to also make today.
Okay.
My family makes a sauce, a traditional meat sauce. My mom makes a really good marinara sauce, or she calls it a quick sauce. It's a really spicy tomato sauce. I'm not going to make that today. I'm going to make the Pasta Queen's sauce, and it's a marinara sauce. With
the Pasta Queen. Okay. Did your family, when you were growing up, did your mom have like a meatball recipe or?
Yeah, she does. She has a meatball recipe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
so
what's the next step?
I'm going to put the meat in the bowl here. I'm going to add my eggs.
Okay.
So 2 eggs, and this is 500 grams of meat.
That's That's half a kilo, people. 1.1 pounds of meat. Okay, you cracked 2 eggs. Let's try to let's bring the cooking accoutrements over here. So
I'm going to put breadcrumbs. Just like kind of eyeball the breadcrumbs.
Okay, there's your eyeball method again. Maybe that's like 1/8 of a cup.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't very much.
And then some cheese here.
Okay.
And then we're going to add some pepper. What is that, about tablespoon maybe.
Teaspoon.
And some salt. I think my salt is, it's been very humid, so the
Your
salt.
salt is caked.
Yeah.
It has been really humid. The weather the last few weeks has been miserable.
Yeah. It's been really hot and humid.
Today actually feels.
But we had a
half
really
decent.
mild summer up until now.
Yep.
So we've got our garlic going in here.
And that's what, 1, 2 cloves?
2 cloves. 2 pretty good sized cloves here.
All right.
And, you know, I know you like to use garlic powder. I really like to use fresh garlic. I just think it has, you know,
I think it
better
depends on what
flavor.
you're cooking. Certain things you're going to saute, like maybe these meatballs. I think fresh garlic is great.
I'm gonna
Something
put
you
a
just want to
teaspoon
cook
of
quick.
Basil.
Yep. I think.
About a half a teaspoon of oregano.
Okay.
The pasta queen actually adds parsley, but I don't have parsley, so I'm not going to put it.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in a little bit of spice in there.
So some red chili flake.
And then I'm going to put my gloves on because I like to mix these with my hands, and I don't really want to get ground beef under my fingernails because I think that's kind of gross.
Well, you just did your nails yesterday too. That would
Right.
kind of ruin the manicure.
Right.
But this is also kind of a sanitary.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to, if you don't have to touch the raw meat.
Okay, so we're just going to mix this up. And you might want to add some more breadcrumbs, which it looks like I'm probably going to do.
What's the consistency you're looking for?
You just kind of want to get it all mixed in together. The consistency, I don't know what you would call the consistency, or I don't have an analogy to compare it to really. You want it to be soft and, you know, just really fully mixed, obviously. You don't want to bite into a meatball that has like a ton of garlic in it.
Sure. Now, I've seen meatballs where they put oatmeal in it. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Would that replace the breadcrumbs,
Yep.
or that would be in addition to?
I guess you could put it in it. I put oatmeal in my meat loaf. So I'm gonna put a little bit more breadcrumbs. And these are panko breadcrumbs because that's what I had.
Now, you want it fairly dry?
No, not dry at all because it won't stick together if it's too dry. And if you have too many breadcrumbs, it'll just kind of, I think, dry it out. Okay, so that's pretty much the consistency.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So then we're just going to get these rolled out.
Do you have are you going to eyeball those as well,
Yeah.
or do you have a measurement?
No, I don't have a measurement. I'm just gonna eyeball these.
How many
Those on
meatballs
there.
do you think this will?
I really don't know
will make?
until I'm done rolling them. So I'm gonna finish rolling these up, and then we'll come back with the next step.
Okay, we'll be right back. It's fine. Okay, we are back in the quarantine kitchen. Tanya, catch us up. What have you done? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've got 23 meatballs. So 500 grams makes 23. I would say what, medium size meatballs?
They're, small,
Small to
medium.
medium?
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm gonna just drizzle some olive oil over the top of them.
Right.
We've oiled the pan already, so they won't stick. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have 4 dinner guests coming over. You have 23, so most people will get 6, and then one unlucky person will get 5.
I don't know that I'll eat 5 meatballs, so you guys can enjoy it. You and Michael can have.
But that's a good rule of thumb. They say that if you have guests and you're serving meat, that the serving size per guest should be somewhere between 6 to 8 ounces. So
Okay.
if a person at our little dinner fiesta tonight got 6 meatballs, they would get right about 8 ounces of meatball
Okay. So there you go.
total,
Yeah.
not each.
Right.
Have you ever made big giant meatballs like the
Yeah.
size of like a grapefruit?
Yeah, I have. Well, not the size of a grapefruit, but probably the size of like a small onion.
And is there a trick to cooking those? Do you have to pre-cook those in a pan, or is it just the same cooking them in the oven?
Yeah, it's the same. Cooking them in the oven. You just may have to cook them a little bit longer because obviously, you know, one big giant one's probably going to cook a little minutes.
Okay, so 350 degrees Fahrenheit. How many minutes?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
They're going to
30
go in.
30 to 40 minutes, but yeah, I meant 30 minutes.
All right. Would you check them with a meat thermometer?
Yeah, well, maybe. They might be a little bit too small for a meat thermometer,
Maybe.
but we'll see. I mean,
Do you
they'll
want
look done and they'll be
Do you want
firm.
these like pink on the inside, medium
Probably
rare?
a little bit medium rare, yeah. You don't want them too dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're gonna cook these. You're making a sauce in a little bit. So are you gonna cook these also more in the sauce?
I'll probably just heat them in the warm sauce. You know.
Okay.
Reheat them in the warm sauce.
I guess what I'm asking is if you cook them rare
Yeah.
in the oven, would they finish cooking later in the sauce? And
If I was gonna cook them actually in the sauce, but I'm not gonna do that because they tend to fall apart in the sauce.
Okay.
So what I'm just gonna do is probably pour the hot sauce in a bowl on top of that.
Okay.
So that'll warm the meat up.
I see. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. And all right. So we'll check back in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back.
Bye.
Okay. We are back, and that wasn't 30 minutes.
No, it was about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it went quick.
Yeah, they cooked fast. Well, we have a convection oven also.
The kitchen smells fantastic. I can really smell all of those flavors you put in there. I can't wait to taste those.
So this is the finished meatball. And then again, I'm going to start my sauce. And once my sauce is warm, then before we eat, I will just put the sauce over the meatballs.
Since we have an odd number, can I try one?
I guess you can.
All right.
I'm going to get you the smallest one that I can find.
All right.
That way.
All right. So here's the meatball. Hot, hot, hot. Woo, hot. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hot.
Wow.
Just came off the pan.
But,
Is it tender?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But lots of flavor. Wow.
They're a little smaller than I anticipated, but it's okay.
Well, they shrunk down, right?
Yeah.
Well, Heike and Michael, you guys are in for a treat. Those were really delicious, Tonya.
Yeah, good.
All right. So I can't wait to see the sauce.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll get the sauce going next.
Okay, we'll be back. We are back in the quarantine kitchen with Tonya, and she is making the second part of our Italian feast. And what are you doing, Tonya? You're making homemade sauce?
Yeah. Homemade marinara sauce.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off here with
Let's see the ingredients.
mixture of chopped, which I did yesterday. I'm really happy I pre-chopped all of this.
Okay.
Chopped small, I chopped pretty small celery, carrots, onions, and some garlic.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get
Great.
those in the pan. Saute those.
So you said onion, carrots, garlic, and onion?
Onion, carrots, celery, and garlic.
You're using an electric skillet.
I am.
Okay.
And a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the pan.
Okay. I really, this is the first time I think we've cooked on camera with the electric skillet.
Yeah.
And with such a small kitchen we have a 2-burner electric stove. One of the burners is really small. I mean, we've been cooking basically the equivalent of a hot plate and a little oven, a toaster oven, right?
Yeah.
This electric skillet has really given us extra cooking surface.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is actually the biggest cooking surface we have, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Which I think will make a nice sauce in that.
Okay.
So,
So this aromatic vegetable mixture, you're gonna saute that in some olive oil.
yep.
All right. And that's a lovely sound. I always say that, but
Yeah.
it really
And this
makes me
pan
think
gets
of eating.
really hot right away. So it's almost like a wok. It's really, gets hot quite quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like it because it's got a lot of surface area and things cook pretty evenly. So we'll let that saute until the vegetables are pretty well done.
Okay.
And then to this we're going to add some tomato sauce,
Okay.
some tomato paste,
Okay.
some diced tomatoes,
Okay.
a little bit of oregano, some basil. And of course, my red pepper flakes, and then some salt and pepper as well.
Okay.
Yep.
There are, do you put anything else like red wine in the sauce?
I may put a tad bit of red wine, depending.
Okay.
We'll see how things taste and how it comes along.
There are people that I know and like a traditional, like I'm familiar with a traditional Sicilian sauce.
Right.
Where I've seen
Some
sugar put in the sauce.
Right. And the sugar is meant to cut down on the acid of the tomato sauce. So in case you don't know why they use the sugar. But I don't know, I'll see if I need to add it. We'll see about the acid or the bitterness of the tomato sauce.
Now,
if it's too bitter, I may add just a little bit of sugar.
And this is the Pasta Queen sauce, right?
Right.
She didn't call for sugar in hers.
No.
Okay.
But she's from a different region. She's from Rome, so she's cooking a sauce from Rome.
And that's really the truth too, right?
Yeah.
Sauces in Italy.
In Italy, the food is very regional, so the sauces vary from region to region. And like where my family comes from, we, make a very aromatic, very seasoned sauce.
It is really a regional cuisine. Everybody thinks of Italian in America in some generic term.
Right. Yeah.
But it's really not.
No, it does vary. The sauces vary. The pizza varies.
Yeah, the pizza was very different.
Yeah.
All right, so you're adding your various spices. So catch us up. What did you just add?
I just put in a little bit of salt and pepper. I put in the oregano and some basil. And then I'm just going to give this a little stir here to mix it.
And then after you add your seasonings, your herbs, you've got your aromatic vegetables. Once you finally put in the tomatoes, how long will you cook the sauce?
It'll probably simmer for a couple of hours. The longer it cooks, the better it tastes. So I'm going to put in my tomato sauce here.
Okay, you're gonna. What was the quantity of that tomato sauce? I mean, it's a bottle.
Yeah.
But do you know is it a liter? Is it a 500 milliliters? Can you, just so we have measurements?
It is 660 milliliters.
Okay.
Of sauce.
So 660 milliliters. You just squirt it in some tomato paste.
Yep.
Is that like a really random type measurement? It's kind of like an add to until you get.
Tablespoons.
Okay.
I would say.
And that's
Maybe
the thickening agent.
Maybe a tablespoon.
And that's the thickening agent for the sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these are your chunky tomatoes you just put in?
I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit. It's a little hot.
Yeah, that's rapidly
And then
boiling.
we're just going to get this all mixed in together here. Now, I like the sauce a lot because of the chunky vegetables. I really like a chunky sauce. And with this, you don't even miss the meat, I find. So this has been kind of like the sauce that I've been making lately. I do like a meat sauce, but sometimes if you're trying to cut back on your meat consumption, like we often do, we only have meat a couple days a week. So this is a really good substitute for that, because when you're eating this on your pasta or on other vegetables, the small pieces of the vegetable almost act as meat. It almost gives that texture of meat.
Well, and it gives some type of a satisfying,
right.
Maybe you feel more satisfied.
Right.
But when you add the meatballs to this, nobody's going to miss any
kind of not.
ground beef in there.
Today, yeah. Today, obviously, we're having.
You're going to let this simmer for how long?
I'm probably a couple of hours, I would say.
And you're going to have to monitor that.
Yeah.
That pan's really still boiling. Do you have that on low?
It is on low. Well, I just turned it way down right now.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little bit more of my same seasonings back into the sauce.
Okay.
So we're putting in some basil. I'm going to put in my red pepper flakes right now. I'm not going to make it too spicy because, our friends, not a lot of people like spicy foods in this area, so.
Right. We're much closer to the north end of Italy where things are a little bit, I don't want to use the word bland in a negative way, but
mild.
Things are more mild. Yeah, the flavoring is mild. That's a good word. Bland really comes off as a negative.
Yeah.
Nobody likes bland food.
No. So I like a lot of basil, so I'm putting just a little bit extra basil in there.
Okay.
So, okay. So
all right.
we're going to just let that sit and cook for a while, and we'll just check on it periodically, and then later, when I need to warm up the meatballs, I'll just add the meatballs in here, or I'll just pour the sauce over the meatballs.
Well, it definitely smells like an Italian kitchen in here with those meatballs having been cooked and now your sauce. The smell in here is amazing. I am getting hungrier by the minute. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
And then the next step, we'll prepare the zucchini boats and get those stuffed and ready to cook.
I'm far behind. You put in about half a day. Wow, here I lie.
Okay, we are back in the quarantine kitchen, and now this is part 3 of your Italian feast, Tonya. I think this is the main course now, right?
Well, part of it. I mean, yeah.
Okay, what do we
It's
got?
all the main course. Zucchini boats. So what I've done is I've cut the zucchini in half lengthwise, cut the 2 ends off, scooped out the pulp.
Okay, the
pulp
seeds in the...
is here.
Do you use that later?
Yeah, I can make some zucchini fritters or even
But not
zucchini
for this.
bread.
You're not using it in this recipe.
No.
Okay, all right.
So, and I've oiled the pan. So what we're going to do right now initially is just salt and pepper the zucchini boats, and we're going to cook them for about 15 minutes in the oven. And then we will stuff them, and then later we'll cook them again for another 15 minutes or until everything is hot.
So we're doing this almost on the same way as like a twice-baked potato.
Right.
Okay, fantastic. So you've got the oven preheated to what?
To 350.
To 350, and you think it'll take how long to...
Well, 15 minutes. We're going to cook it for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to, stuff them and then cook them again right before we eat them.
Sounds
for
great.
About 15 minutes. Yeah.
All right, so this is a dish that you prepare ahead, and then right before you serve it to your guests, you kind of warm it, fire it.
Exactly. Okay, so what I've done so far is I've heated the zucchini boats up in an oven for about 15 minutes. So that process has been completed, and now I am preparing the zucchini with a layer of salt and pepper and ricotta cheese, and then I'm going to layer sauce and then mozzarella on top. I'm not going to cook them again quite yet, but when it gets closer to our guests coming, I will put them in the oven for another 15 minutes or so just to heat everything through. Here's the zucchini with the ricotta layer. So they've already been kind of par cooked for 15 minutes. So here is the ricotta layer. I've already spread that in there. So they've all got a pretty decent amount of ricotta cheese. And then I'm going to layer the sauce, and then I'll be putting on some mozzarella. So let me just do one here so you can kind of see how I'm going to do this. So we're going to just fill it like that with a layer of sauce, and then we're going to add some cheese on top. So I'm going to do that with all of them, and then I will be back with the cheese layer. Okay, so I've filled each one with sauce, and I've put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of it, and now I'm going to top it off with some mozzarella. And there's the finished zucchinis. Again, I've layered them with a thin layer of ricotta cheese, and then my sauce, and then on top of that a little bit of Parmesan, and now mozzarella, final layer of mozzarella. You could do like pepperoni on top, like mini pepperonis on there. You could put sausage on there, you could put meat on there. Because I made the meatballs, we're gonna have that separate. So this will go in the oven and cook about 15 minutes or so, and should be delicious. Here's the finished zucchini boats, and the cheese is melted, and they're warm and hot out of the oven and ready to eat.
Here I lie with a shiver in my bones, just thinking about the weather. A quiver in my voice as if I might cry. What a cold